Mohammed, Imam Ashafa family also represented, the whole Shawan, another distinguished guest to this occasion. It's a round table party. With your permission, I will invite Sheto.
Well, we decided to call the meeting because of the unprecedented security challenges that we are facing in our educational sector. This state has always faced security challenges, but this time our schools are being targeted. We've had 3 kidnap attempts in the last 3 days. One was partially successful, one was foiled completely, and the other one, I would say, was foiled because none of the students were kidnapped. So we felt we need to bring all the stakeholders together to lay out our strategy and also to get input from them. Maybe there is something we're missing. And in addition, security is the collective duty of everyone. And for security to be effective, there must be advocacy at the lowest community levels. So we brought community leaders, civil society organizations, and everyone, along with the security agencies, to rub minds and see whether there is something we can do better or something that we are doing that is wrong so that we reverse and generally find better ways to improve security in the state. And it has been very, very enriching. We've got many insightful suggestions, and I think it's something that we're going to sustain. We've taken many of the suggestions on board. One very clear thing that came out of the interaction is the resolve of all communities that schools should not be closed. The community leaders will work with the security agencies to ensure that our schools are safe and are protected further. Because we put on the table the possibility of closing schools because of the insecurity, and they are very clear that schools should not be closed, and everyone will contribute to ensure that our schools continue, because our students have already lost a lot from the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think government does not have any business dialoguing with bandits. It is clear criminality is not something that needs to be negotiated upon. The laws are clear on what anybody engaged in such act should face. And I think there are other stakeholders that can negotiate or discuss or dialogue with such criminals. We have religious leaders, we have community leaders. And in any case, the question to ask is, if the bandits decide not to do anything, not to adopt any child or kidnap anybody, the whole thing will just go silent. So you don't need to forgive anybody, you don't need to dialogue, all they need to do is just stop. So dialogue is, when you say you want forgiveness, there shouldn't be any condition attached to. But I think that besides having the military, the army, the navy and all of that to come and support, which we actually need them at some quarters, we need to begin to decentralize by bringing neighborhood policing, community policing. Those are the kind of things that can end this thing. I just gave you a typical example of what used to happen. This is not what I'm suggesting, but when you rewind your mind a few years back, in the East, when Bakassi boys came out, a lot of things stopped. OPC also stopped a lot of things in the Southwest. So I am saying that a community can, when they agree and say no to certain things, we always see a result coming out of it. The unfortunate thing here is that these bandits we're talking about are not just shooting simple pistols and all that. They have sophisticated weapons. This is where we need the Nigerian military, which you said has been centralized by the federal government. But at some point, if we work out the architecture of how all of this will harmonize and coordinate themselves, I think we can come to a resolve in this in the quickest possible time, less than 3 months. if we have a very good structure, we can deal with this banditry across the country.
Well, as you have noted, the governor had just stated categorically that it is the position of the state not to negotiate with the bandits, which a lot of us at the council meeting have alluded to as a position to contend with, because as you are aware, continuously negotiating and payment of ransom has been one of the reasons why the banditry in the country has been proliferating. So our position, my point and my belief is that while other non-state actors can negotiate with these bandits, it shouldn't be the position of the government to negotiate with these bandits. There are other people, other non-state actors, the traditional rulers, the religious leaders. They can go ahead and do the negotiation while the government stays completely clear of negotiation. We believe that the security agencies of this country have not imbibed technology in their operations, and that is the reason why their activities has remained as crude as it used to be 100 years ago. So we are suggesting that innovative ideas, technology should be adopted by these security agencies to promote and improve their activities.
My own stand is that we should not negotiate with bandits. The federal government should even have a policy or even back it by law, so that government doesn't give these people money. As they give them money, they take this to be an opportunity. It's a trade, and they recruit more and more and more. It will have no end. So I feel that when the sources of their income is drained, they will stop. And most importantly, those people who are behind them must also be fished out and dealt with according to law, because they are not in favor of the good of our country, and they should be shown that one as example to others. That's my stand. First of all, the security of the children is paramount, and when steps are taken that securities are beefed up, there will be no need to close down schools. If we close down schools, it affects the children's career. Their study life will be distorted. I am in support of beefing up security around the schools, particularly those vulnerable ones, so that learning can go on. That's my own stand.
So, is there any way local vigilantes role can play in this regard?
Of course, it has to be a collaborative effort. I want to say that security in our country is difficult to manage because security agents are not together. If all the bodies that are statutory bodies to make peace and security come together and they work together, we will have a better security situation in our country. So to use vigilante, to use all these other people, let them come together and make a formidable force to attack these people who are bent on evil doing.